Hey Aquarius, what's up? So what we are starting off with is the Four of Swords. When we have Four of Swords, it's connected with taking time to recharge. You can also feel like you need to rest a little bit, or you can feel like you need to get your mind right in some way. Maybe before doing something here, because I'm seeing Knight of Pentacles come after. When we have Knight of Pentacles, there's a move that we're intending to make, but having Four of Swords before it is like wanting to be in a good space prior to doing that. Like if I'm gonna be showing up and I'm gonna be like, I'm hearing consistently, if I'm gonna be showing up and I'm making a move that feels like it really counts here, where I need to be like totally on board with this, I need to make sure that I'm in the right space to be doing that. It feels kind of like the difference between making a move and then having it like easily be blown away in the wind versus making a move that feels very solid. And it feels like that's the reason why we have Four of Swords there, to make sure that you are like in the space to be doing this, because you want to do it and the intention is there and we do want things to move forward. But there may be something here about like needing to make sure that you're in the space to do that prior to doing it. And it feels like just a matter of time. This doesn't feel like a question of whether you're going to be doing this or not. It feels like making sure that you wait until you're in the space to be doing it. Also, when we have the Knight of Pentacles, it's like this is a process. It's not just an overnight thing. So there's really no reason to be like, oh, I can't take the night right now, or I can't rest right now, or I don't have time to relax a little bit here, or to recharge in some way, or to connect with myself because I just need to do this immediately. Like that is not the nature of the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is like, I ate a good breakfast and I stretched in the morning and now I'm ready to like go out and do the jog. It's like, you know, like everything feels kind of like this preparing, but more than anything, I feel like this can be a like whatever helps you to be like mentally in that space. It feels like that's the type of preparation that's connected with this. That's the plan. Okay. So for some of you, you can be showing up within a relationship. I am looking at Aquarius on the bottom of the deck. This can also be a move that you're making that you feel like is building your empowerment in some way. I'm seeing something that does not go maybe as quickly as you thought it was going to. There's something coming up that's connected with that, but then I'm seeing there be movement. So I get the sense that like maybe you thought that something was going to move more quickly, then there could have been delays to the process. I feel like because stuff needed to be figured out, like stuff that maybe wasn't realized before, like, because it seems like what we realize is something having to do with the Empress, which is really what's going to feel aligned for us. So something may have needed to be figured out before we could kind of like proceed with this. Maybe you've been in some type of period where you've just been sitting with something too. Like maybe you've been more quiet. Seeing Four of Swords and seeing the Hanged Man, I do kind of feel like a hermit period that you've been in, or maybe that this situation has been in. But then I'm seeing that like what's needed to be realized has been realized and now we can proceed. But it feels like that wasn't what was happening before. I do definitely get something that may have felt like it wasn't going anywhere, or it could have just felt like something was stalled out here. But then I'm seeing like when we come out of that place, or this person, for those of you that this may be another person, when they come out of this place, I'm seeing them there like very solidly. And it feels like this period of reflection was important for them to do that. and like doing whatever it was that they were doing. It was important for them to do that because it allowed them to show up very solidly. And again, like if this is for you, this period, like it may not be something that's like wanted, or it may be something that's wanted. Maybe it just like isn't, things aren't happening as quickly as you thought that they would. At the same time, you can feel like this is actually a blessing to be happening because it allows us to show up in a solid way. Where with Neptune, it can be kind of like phasing in and phasing out. It can be like not really there, like not really connecting, like something going on where it feels like where are you? That's kind of the feeling with Neptune, where like something isn't really solid, because Neptune's kind of like the opposite of that. It's like I thought I caught it, but then it slipped through my fingers, and it's that type of process that we have there. And it feels like that needed to happen on that side of the scale, so then we could counterbalance with the polar, which is going to be that showing up solidly. So this can be the difference between first needing to go through that phase of like you can't reach me, to then entering into this phase of like here I am and I'm showing up and this is very solid incoming. And I will say too that whatever it was that needed to be pondered about, whatever it was that needed to be realized, has been realized. So now this can happen. And maybe that was also the point of this too. Not everything was understood yet that needed to be understood. I feel kind of like there can be like a bit of an internal battle that's going on here with the Five of Wands. Oh, I'm seeing the Lovers and I'm seeing Five of Pentacles, maybe with a relationship. Whatever this is, something is being worked out. It's in the process. I'm hearing undecided. Five of Wands is being clarified by Queen of Swords, so I'd say that, okay, maybe something needs to be discerned, maybe something needs to be reflected upon, maybe something needs to be decided upon here. When we have Queen of Swords, this is the part of us that, like, really from a cerebral space. And that means too, like, let me kind of like take my emotions out of it. Let me look at what's going on. Let me be logical here by the way that I'm looking through this and deciding it. And then having strength there can be like, maybe something about this is actually challenging. Maybe something about this is difficult. Maybe there's like some type of call that even needs to be made, or something that you really need to be honest with yourself about here. However, it can feel not easy to do this for some reason. Okay, so Queen of Swords is going back in with the Lovers, so there can be something about communication that needs to happen here. But I also get the sense too, like, if you have something going on where you feel a way about something, or you are seeing something, or you are feeling something, or you're like acknowledging something that's specific to your internal process, maybe there's something challenging here about bringing that into the space with another person. So there can be something about you needing to be the Queen of Swords within a relationship, but you may be having a tough time doing that. So it can mean like maybe you need to be transparent with somebody, maybe you need to be blunt with them, maybe you need to be straightforward, maybe you need to set a boundary, maybe something here needs to happen, but it can be a way that maybe you don't feel the most comfortable with showing up like that. But I also get at the same time, if you don't do that, you can feel like you're not honoring the way that you feel. And then you're going to be the one that's stuck with that. And I feel kind of like this. Yeah, I mean, having both Neptune and having Venus here, this feels like, what is the reality of this situation? Like when we have Neptune and Venus connected with one another, if it is a hard aspect, it can mean that we are like not grounded, and we are in a place where we're not really seeing things as they actually are. But also too, like, if we don't have a hard aspect with Neptune and Venus, it can be about our dreams coming true and about us being in ideal relationships, situations that really do feel aligned in a way that feels empowering to us. And maybe that's also something here where you're sort of working through something like that. Maybe the lines are a bit blurred. But I'm also seeing too that we have the Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So at the same time, I feel kind of like you may feel more mentally clear than anything, yet you may have to be taking action with that. You may need to do something with that. And there can even be a, like, here I am with that Five of Pentacles. This is, here I am, I'm showing up. But then having that Five of Wands there can be something that, like, maybe you're entering into kind of a complicated situation here. Maybe there's some type of environment that you're going into that feels like somewhat competitive even. That can be part of it too. Is what you feel a conflict actually a conflict? Are you possibly adding things into the equation that don't need to be added into the equation? Why I'm saying this is because after Hanged Man, we have Knight of Pentacles. So this feels like I'm having this clarity, I'm having these understandings, and what I recognize is that when I really allow myself to flow with this, I want to be making this move here. This feels like what's right for me to be doing. But then having the next card connected with that be the Five of Wands can be you entering into something that feels like there's tension within that situation, or it's not just something like smooth and harmonious immediately. There's something else going on, but you can also feel like, but this is what I have to be doing here. I kind of get it like that. Like you have to go out on the field here and play the game out on the field. Not even because you're like, I want to be out on the field. It just feels like I want to make this move, and that means that I have to be out on the field then. And I have to be part of this game then, because this is the move that I want to be making, and it's just like a byproduct of you making this move. And so I feel kind of like you're going to walk your way through that if you are willing to, because you can feel like this is what needs to be done. And I also feel like this is going to help you resolve something kind of complicated here. And it can be figuring out, because we have Empress and we have Five of Wands. So this is like, I'm working something out that's related to my values. I'm working something out that's related to my Venus energy here. And your Venus energy is like what you want, what you like, what you prefer, what works well, what is collaborative, what is compatible, what you feel that sense of natural chemistry with. And having Hanged Man there can be the difference between a fantasy and a dream come true. And having that Five of Wands can be figuring out what's what here. So, as I said before, it feels like if you're going to be making this move here, you know that you have to go on the field, because on the field is where it's going to be figured out. You may not want to have to go on the field, but you know, if I'm going to be doing this, it means that I have to be there. It's just part of this process for me. And you have the Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So this is going to clarify what you need it to clarify. So that means that you're going to get the answers that you're seeking here by doing this. But it may have been something that you didn't want to initially do. I kind of feel that a little bit here. Like maybe too, it's something that you had to sort of prepare yourself a bit for, because it seems like this is going to be something that I feel like maybe opens up a little bit of a can of worms for you. But at the same time, it feels like it's not like you're going into this unnecessarily. It seems like this is actually going to help you work something out that's very important. And now is the time to be doing this. So that's what I'm seeing be going on here. But yeah, maybe it also like took you some time to realize this as well. Maybe it wasn't like point blank obvious for you immediately, but it feels like when I really do connect with myself and feel into the flow, I know that I'm being drawn in this direction, and this is the way that I am meant to be moving forward. And even though it seems like maybe a little bit chaotic. Maybe there's just like stuff that you're gonna have to confront moving through this. I feel like this is the way, this is the path to be moving here. And this is also something too where, like, something that can be very ideal, because Neptune can also be connected with our ideals. There may be something where you're figuring out what your ideal is with something related to Venus. Your values, your relationships, what's important to you, what you care about, what holds the most meaning for you. So maybe that's also something that you're processing too, like, what is my ideal situation here? And what's like possible within all of this? As I said before, in making this move and going out onto the field of this scenario, you are going to get those answers. This is exactly having that Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck. This is where you're going to get the clarity that you seek, and then you're going to be able to come out of that being like, ah, it all makes so much sense now in a way that you may not really be feeling currently. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.